Okay, thank you very much for joining us for the webinar tonight. We're going to be discussing all of our different creative arts courses, but just to start with, I'll introduce myself. So my name is Nicole Lieber and I'm a student advisor here at the university. Basically, my role is to help you go through the different courses that we have on offer and help you work out which is the best one for what you're looking to do. Talk to you a bit about all of the different courses and also help you work out your best pathway towards your chosen degree as well. I'm actually a graduate from Flinders University myself, so I hold a Bachelor of Laws and Legal Practice and Psychology from the university here, and I finished my studies a couple of years ago now in 2016, but I do have still quite a recent experience as a student from the university as well. So we're going to go through basically all of the different creative arts programs that we have on offer here at Flinders. I encourage you to pop any questions that you might have throughout the webinar today on that little chat box that you should see on your screen there, and I will either answer them as part of the webinar as they come relevant to the different study areas, or if they're really individual or personalised to yourself, I will make sure I respond to you at the end of the webinar as well. So we're going to go through all of these different courses. Just to start with, I want to speak a little bit about, oh, it looks like someone's still having an issue. Bear with me just a second. Sorry, I'll just make sure everyone's all okay. Okay, sorry. So we're going to go through all of the different course areas within the Creative Arts Suite, but just to start with, I just want to go through what Creative Arts, why it's a really excellent area to become involved in, and a bit about creative arts at Flinders University in general as well. So the creative arts as a profession is actually a really strong growing industry. Currently, it contributes to 3.2 billion in exports at the moment from Australia, which is amazing, and 45.89 billion within Australia as well. Currently employs over 6.2% of the Australian workforce within the arts sector. Oh, we're just getting a little bit of feedback from someone. Sorry, not sure what happened there. So you can see it's really a strong area within Australia and overseas as well. In the future, creative arts is becoming stronger and better. The growing demand for creative thinkers is becoming more and more popular, I suppose, across a whole range of different areas. So what we find is a lot of people from the creative arts space will not only go and work within the creative arts sector, but will also be employed across a whole range of different industries because of how these degrees are teaching you to think. We know that work of the future is all going to be about creative thinking and problem solving, and that's really what these courses are focused on, whilst also having that really great underlying area in the arts programs as well. Within arts and media, professionals are expected to grow within Australia by 7% by 2023. For those of you that are looking to start studies now, that means by the time you finished, the growth for your area is going to go up by 7%. So it's going to be a really strong options for you in work. And film, television and stage directors are also expected to grow by 12% by the same year, as well as 15% in authors, books and script writers and editors by 2023 as well. So right now, for all of you looking to start in these areas, you're basically at the perfect time to take advantage of this growth opportunities that's going to be happening over the next few years that will set you up perfectly for when you do finish your course in 3 to 4 years' time as well. So, why would you do creative arts at Flinders University over another university? Lots of people choose universities for a whole range of different things. Sometimes people will choose it because it's nice and local to them. Sometimes they pick it because they really like the university campus, and we do have awesome facilities here at the university for all of our students. But specific around creative arts at Flinders University, we are the creative arts specialists within South Australia. So we have been teaching in this area for many, many years, and we are really well known right across Australia and internationally as well for all of our different creative arts programs. Regardless of what you're studying in, I'm going to go through all of them in much more detail, but regardless of what you're doing, you're going to have full access to industry equipment for your different specialisations that's there, so you can start getting used to that full industry equipment right from the beginning of your course, whichever program you might be in. You will have dedicated spaces set aside for each of the different areas, and we'll go through some of those as well. And we have a whole range of very famous graduates and alumni that have come through our various creative arts programs. So you're really joining a fantastic group of people by looking to study something within the creative arts space. Please keep in mind to pop in any questions in that chat box as we're going along. I really want to make sure that all of you listening and participating with us live are able to get all the answers that you might have, answers to all the questions that you might have throughout the webinar as well. So please pop them in there as we're going, because that's really what this kind of session is about, is to help answer any questions that you might have. So I'm now going to go through all of the different creative arts programs that we have. I've sort of got them broken down into their different little groups here, and we'll cover each of them briefly and then go through the different entry criteria for each of them as well. So with all of these different things that you might see on the website and online and on this screen here as well, and the brackets, they're referred to at the university as specialisations. And specialisations are really just like a focused area of study. So if you're going to do the Bachelor of Arts and your specialisation is in fashion, for example, that means your studies are going to be tailored around fashion. Pretty much everyone in all of our creative arts courses will do a couple of overlapping topics in their first semester and first year, Introduction to Creative Arts, and a couple of other ones as well. But then you have these specialisations, so you can really narrow down your focus to what you're most interested in. I've grouped costume design and fashion together for this presentation just because they are pretty similar in terms of the kinds of things you learn to do. It just has slightly different, I guess, products at the end of the course. So for these courses, the different sorts of things that you get to learn. So basically you'll start off, these courses are taught in conjunction with TAFE SA. So the reason we do that for these particular specialisations is because they have access to all of this awesome industrial sewing machines and big equipment that we just don't have access to within the university environment here. So you will have part of your study done at Flinders University at the Bedford Park, and also some of it done within TAFE, so you can go and make use of all of those the facilities as well. We will teach you both the theory side of it as well as the practical side of it. And so theory will be a whole range of different things. You can be doing things in studies in screen, in drama, in fashion marketing. You'll do some in event management, so you can learn how to put together various fashion events and those sorts of things as well. Some in consumer behaviour, and also some in environmental studies. So you have a whole range of theory-based topics, setting up a bit of history as well. And then you will also have your practical-based courses. So your practical topics will teach you how to do pretty much everything. So you will learn how to design clothes, as in going through that whole sketching process. You will learn how to change that into patterns, how to make those patterns accessible for a whole range of different sizes, how to do research and put together costumes and those particular things as well. And then you will go through the actual process of using the industrial sewing machines, doing your cutting of the cloth in particular ways and all of that kind of thing, and learning how to do it all the way through. You can see on the screen there's a photo that's actually from one of the fashion buying trips. So you have the opportunity the end of second year, beginning of third year, if you'd like to go overseas and go on a buying trip for your final product line or costume collection, you can do so. The university helps you organise that, and basically it's an opportunity to go over, you normally go to, I think, China, and have the opportunity to go through and explore how, like, getting to know all of the different suppliers and everything for your garments that you'll be making in the future. And so that photo is a whole bunch of different buckles. So I've seen another one and it was like 3 times the size of that, and it was all individual buttons. So you can go and actually get to choose exactly what you want to put in for your product line or your costume collection as well. And then in third year, that's actually the time that you produce that final collection. So whether it be for the fashion parade at the end of your third year, and we hold a big fashion parade for our fashion graduates, we have full models and the catwalk designs and lights and music and all of that. Is pretty amazing. If you have the opportunity to go to one next towards the end of this year, it's a fantastic opportunity and it's an awesome event. Excuse me. So you can head along to that one, and the fashion graduates get to display their full collection there as well. And the costume design also has an equivalent option as well. Now, depending on which of these specialisations you choose, obviously there's going to be a slightly different focus in terms of the occupations that you might have available to you at the end. So clearly within the fashion, we've obviously got fashion designer. What that might look like depends on, I guess, what you're most interested in. If you would like to go and design everyday wear or formal wear or whatever it might be. Things like garment technician and production assistant are some other options as well. And then within the costumes design specialisation, you can see there's a whole range of different areas on there too. So not only just designing the costumes in terms of the actual sewing things and doing that sort of thing, but also going through the researching. So perhaps if you're going to go and work in if you end up working in films or whatever it might be, doing the research around the particular costumes of that era, and then going and sourcing all of those as well. Costume technician is another one. So a lot of the really big kind of productions that tour around the country will employ costume technicians to help, keep the costumes up for whatever the program might be. So having loads of different roles within those spaces too. And there's a couple of photos on there as well of some of our fashion graduates. So in the top and on the bottom left there, the one on the bottom left I think was taken from one of the fashion parades. That was someone's final formal wear outfit, which is pretty amazing. So you have all of those opportunities throughout the course as well. So just really quickly, the key facts for these courses. So costume design and fashion both sit around the same ATAR. So they're both guaranteed at 70 for an ATAR, and they have a minimum requirement ATAR or selection rank of 60. And for both of these options, there are no prerequisites or assumed knowledge. So you can come to the program and we will teach you absolutely anything and everything that you need to know within that course. So creative writing is another one of the specialisations we have on offer. Within our creative writing courses, we have a number of really well-known graduates that have come from the space. I've got a couple on the next slide as well. Someone's just asked a question about the stat test equivalents for the ATAR scores. Okay, sorry. I'll just answer this because it will help you out for the rest of the presentation as well. For people who are coming through a Year 12 pathway, would normally be applying for entry based off their ATAR or selection rank score. If you're applying for the course as an adult entry graduate, you might be sitting the STAT, which is a special tertiary admissions test, which is basically gives you an alternative score. Instead of using an ATAR, you can use a STAT test score. The equivalencies for these ones, the STAT doesn't have guaranteed entry scores required for certain programs, but the STAT gives you a score out of 200, and for most of your creative arts courses, they're going to require a STAT score as a minimum of about 135 out of 200, so as a bit of a guideline. So I hope that helps answer that one, and that's about the same for most of the creative arts courses as well for those STAT options. If you do have any questions about alternative pathways and things like that, just pop it in there because we also accept things like TAFE qualifications and a whole range of other ones as well. So just coming back to the Bachelor of Creative Arts and Creative Writing specialisation. So within this course, you will have the opportunity of doing a whole range of different topics across the creative writing space. So everyone will do fiction and non-fiction, and you will also do publishing and editing as well. So, with the idea with this having all of these different subjects within it, so you can get a real understanding of how the process works within the creative writing area. Everybody who teaches in creative writing are current publishing authors, and so they're publishing both in Australia and also internationally. And so they're currently working on their own creative writing works whilst they're also teaching you within that space. And that's actually a really awesome kind of unique opportunity because you're being taught by people that are actually out there at the moment and they're doing it. They get it. They understand if you're having writer's block and all of that kind of stuff because they're in the same scenario themselves potentially. And so it's a really nice kind of opportunity to really understand what it's going to be like even after you finish your studies as well. You have the opportunity of working on a whole range of different creative writing and following your own passions within the course as well, based on what you're most interested in. But having those sorts of people teaching you is a fantastic opportunity. And they'll also cover all the things around your publishing and editing as well. So a lot of people might obviously go on to publish novels or short stories or whatever it might be. But a lot of people will come into this course and then go down the publishing or editing route as well. So it's designed to set you up to have more job opportunities just outside of your own kind of personal publishing as well. And this is Hannah Kent, who is actually an award-winning Australian author. She's a graduate from Flinders University. She wrote the book Burial Rites, if anyone's seen that one as well. And yeah, just a bit more information about some of the different work opportunities in there and some of the potential employers that you could go into based off having a creative writing qualifications. Obviously, you've got your freelance writing, but publishing, editing, research, and of course, author and advertising as well. So the degree is meant to, it is quite unique in how it covers all of those different areas to set you up so you have all of those possible options available for you at the end. And of course, we've got the entry scores here. Now with this one, it's just a minimum entry selection rank. So it's 60 for the ATAR and equivalent for the stats, about 135 or so. With this course, they're not overly fussed about your academic requirements, basically. So it's just a minimum selection rate for year 12, which is 60, which is the minimum that we require for entry to really any Flinders University course. The main one for this one are the prerequisites, and for creative writing it requires a portfolio, CV and a written statement. And so really what we're trying to get out of you is we're trying to have a look at your portfolio to see that you can demonstrate that you do have a bit of creative writing talent. What they're not looking for is people, you don't need to be like, publishing kind of level ready or have a novel ready to go or anything like that. It's just a matter of demonstrating that you are a bit of a creative person and clearly have a passion in this area. If you are looking to apply for this course, the application is all done through SATAC for all of our courses. But once you apply through SATAC, we will send you the information as to how to submit those additional prerequisite requirements for this topic, for this course, and for all of the other courses that have similar requirements as well that I'll go through shortly. Once again, pop any questions you've got in that little chat box. A few people have sent some through, which has been awesome. So I just want to make sure I'm covering off all the information you guys are looking to find out about the courses too. So dance is another specialisation that we have. Within the dance degree, you would do a range of topics. So again, you're going to cover your theory and then also your workshop. And your workshop is your practical focus. We have some really fantastic facilities here on campus where we do a lot of the training for this. And there's also some space in the city through the Adelaide College of the Arts that we use as well for our dance. For our dancing students too. You'll cover a whole range of topics within the theory as well. So everyone will learn obviously the practical side of things, and you'll do a whole range of different dance within that space. But you'll also do things like dance production, so actually how to manage a production within dance. You'll do some history and some performance and creation of festivals, so actually giving you a bit more of that event design as well. Obviously, there's a few range of different jobs within this one, so professional dancer, performing arts teacher, and a whole range of other ones on there as well. Now, the prerequisites for this one, basically there's a audition that's required. And for the audition, we will contact you through the SATAC application, once you submit a SATAC application for this course, inviting you to come along to the auditions. And I just printed out the dates for them before. So at this stage, the auditions will be held on Friday the 18th of October and Friday the 22nd of October at the Adelaide College of the Arts in Adelaide. And there may be later audition dates as required. And there'll also be a interstate audition in Canberra on Friday the 25th of October for this year as well. So the main one for this one, you have the minimum entry selection rank of the 60 or equivalent for adult entry scores, and then you attend the audition, and it really comes down to the audition as part of this one. Within the audition, you will participate in classical ballet, contemporary dance technique, improvisation, and a couple of other ones as well. So you'll cover a whole range of broad dance areas within the audition. So drama is another specialisation, and this is a really big one for us at the university too. One of the, I guess, the main awesome thing about drama in particular, but also our creative arts courses in general at the university, is they are smaller groups. So there's not like 300 of you doing drama or anything like that. There's smaller groups of you, and it means that you have a real dedicated community kind of supporting you, and you're passionate about it within the different programs as well. Within our drama program in particular, we have a number of really well-known graduates. If you Google Flinders drama grads, there's a whole bunch that come up. So Xavier Samuel's one of them. He was in the Twilight movies. Noni Hazelworth from Play School is a Flinders University graduate from drama, and there's many others as well. Well, part of that means is that you're going out into a community of people that already know exactly, the kind of training that you've had and the things that you're capable of doing, which really sets you up for a whole range of different options as well. Someone's just asked about the set number of spots for the drama course. So there are a certain number of courses that a certain number of positions available in each of the degrees. I don't know off the top of my head how many there are in the drama. I'd need to go and check, sorry. Basically, this is why we have the audition. So the auditions for these sorts of courses are kind of the determining factor as to who's able to gain entry to a position, and who would need to go through an alternative pathway. And I'll talk about the alternative pathways in just a minute as well. And I will find out how many positions are actually available in the drama course, because as I said, I'm not sure off the top of my head and I don't want to say the wrong number. Within the drama program, you have full access to basically all the fantastic spaces that we have available at the university. So we have the dedicated drama centre, which is an entire building built for our drama students. So they have all the rehearsal stages and everything as well. And you also do most of your performances within the 425-seat Matthew Flinders Theatre, which is here on campus as well. It's a fantastic facility. There's also a television studio, so if you're looking to go down that route as well, and dance and voice training studios as well, so you can do a bit of all of those areas too. A whole range of potential employers within this space as well. Community arts is becoming bigger and bigger as well, and film and television production is also increasing too. There's also, obviously, you've got your news and entertainment corporations. We do have the television studio available for you on campus too, where you can go through and practice those sorts of areas. And again, this one just has that minimum entry selection rank of around the 60, and it primarily comes down to the audition for this one. Again, we send you the information inviting you to attend the audition once you've submitted a SATAC application for the course. Now, the Bachelor of Creative Arts Enterprise is a program that's a little bit different from this other one. So the Bachelor of Creative Arts Enterprise is basically the business side of creative arts. So this is really good for a whole range of different people. So sometimes people are, like, you might already be the world's most brilliant guitarist or something, and you're not that interested in learning how to do the music side of it anymore or still, but you really want to go and, start up more of a business side for yourself. this is where the creative arts enterprise option can come in. It's also a fantastic degree if you're looking to work within the creative arts space, but not necessarily as a performer yourself. Or if you already want to do a bit of both, it can also be a really good option too. So basically, this course was developed by people who are out in the industry, and also by what our teaching staff are telling us what you guys are looking to do as well. And it's designed to give you the skills and knowledge across entrepreneurship, arts and festival management, digital media communications, and cultural policy education as well. So it's really designed to set you up for that new kind of space within the creative arts. We saw earlier how popular and how much creative arts is growing in Australia and how much of a future it has. All of those jobs and stuff need people within this space as well on the business side. It's not just sort of, designing a play to do at the Fringe or whatever. We need all the people at the Fringe, for example, setting that up, doing the promotion side of it, working out the kind of space requirements and those sorts of things. And so this can be a really fantastic course if that's where you're thinking you might like to head. Excuse me. And so some of the topics that you'll do within this course, you will do creative arts theory and some practice. So you will have some subjects across people who are also doing drama and dance and digital media and all of those other ones as well. Visual effects, sorry. You will do creative thinking topics and innovation, writing for digital environments, so online web design and writing, marketing, event design, human resources, multimedia production, and some small business topics as well, and also advertising and public relations. So it's really designed to give you a real kind of specialised knowledge around the business side within the creative arts sector. And again, there's a whole range of different employers that you can go through. You will have a placement opportunity as part of the enterprise course as well. We have a range of different industry partners that we partner with for a whole range of different placements, including these ones as well. And so there's all sorts of different things you can do. So we had a lot of students this year go and participate in the management side of the Adelaide Fringe, and also in the State Theatre Company. But you can see we've got partnerships across a whole broad range of different groups within the state there too. The entry criteria for this one, there are no prerequisites, there's no audition, there's no kind of interviews or anything. This one is just based off your ATAR or selection rank or adult entry scores. So as a guideline, the ATAR requirement for this one for last year was 70, and this year it's actually going to be guaranteed at 70 or over. So if you are a Year 12 student and you're applying for this course and you achieve 70 or over and it was your first preference, you've guaranteed yourself a spot in the degree. It may go down a little bit below 70 for next year. It will just depend on how many people are applying and what all of their results are as well. Going back to some of the more traditional creative arts areas, so the Bachelor of Creative Arts Screen, if you are interested in screen productions, and this would be the course for you. So you will study topics across all of those areas. So you will get to do topics within directing, within cinematography, screenwriting, editing, sound, and producing. Some of the topics are across like specific script writing and media and society, a little bit more broad as well. You also cover ethics and film form and analysis subjects within this course as well. So if you're looking to do anything to do with cameras or television or directing or anything like that, this is the course for you. And of course, there's a whole bunch of different employers that you could potentially go and work for. Some of the named ones on the screen here is where our graduates from this degree have actually been working previously. Excuse me. So things like South Adelaide Football Club, SBS, ABC TV, Channel 44, a whole range of different ones on there as well. The entry requirements for this one, again, just that minimum ATAR selection rank requirement of 60. And this one does have that additional entry criteria. So for this one, they require a portfolio or a show reel and a written statement. Now, the written statement for all of these ones is just why you want to do the course and why you think you'd be good at it. With your show reel or portfolio, what they're looking for is some examples of your original work and your kind of role within that work. So you can submit parts if it was you directing it, if you wrote it, it was your photography, whatever it may be. We're just after your best work. And again, when you apply for this course on your SATAC application, we send you the full bits of instruction. They're also on our website, but we send you the full list of instructions as to how much you can submit and how long it can go for and all of that kind of stuff as well. Please keep the questions coming in. We'll try and get through them all as we're going. So with someone's just asked, is there any examples of portfolios available for screen? Okay, so no, we don't display example portfolios. We're just looking for your best work within that area, and that will be different for people from all, depending on what you're most interested in and depending on what your background's been. With your show reel, it needs to be under 10 minutes, so 10 minutes or under. You can also submit visual materials, so that might be any photography that you've done, and also any production management materials. So if you have been involved in producing something or directing something, and we're not expecting this to be at like professional level, it may have been something that you've done as part of your school or part of a community group, you can submit those sorts of documents as well, but unfortunately there's no examples that we make available for that one. So the Bachelor of Creative Arts in Visual Arts, this is the course for you if you are interested in your kind of, I suppose when we think about traditional kind of arts areas, so things like drawing, painting, photography, sculpture, all of those ones fit into our Visual Arts course at Flinders. In the first year, you will do subjects from all of those different areas, and then from second and third year, you kind of specialise within that chosen studio, so whether that be drawing or painting or photography or whatever. Depending on the kind of studio that you decide to do, then there'll be a range of different occupations that come, sort of, normally based from that that studio that you focused on all the way through as well. But the good one with this one is, even if you already know 100% what you want to do, you do get the opportunity to explore those different areas in the first year, because sometimes we kind of change our minds along the way. So it's a really nice kind of, and it's a really good base understanding across all of those different mediums as well. For the visual arts program, there are no prerequisites, so you're not required to submit anything or no portfolios or anything like that. The minimum selection, or the guaranteed entry selection rank, sorry, I should say, is 70 for next year. So again, if you score 70 or over, you're guaranteed entry. And the competitive score for this year did go down to 60. And again, depending on how many people apply for this year, it might go down to 60 again, or it might be a little bit higher. It just depends on the applicant pool. But if you aim for that 70 and you get that one, then you'll be all good for entry for this program. Okay, and I think this is our last one actually. So visual effects and entertainment design. So previously we referred to this as digital media. So a couple of years ago I had a slight name change. This is our probably one of our most popular courses that we teach at the university. We are the #1 digital illustration school in the world through this degree, and we teach it in conjunction with CDW Studios. You can see within that photo there, there's a whole bunch of different artworks and things that students have worked on as part of it. And here's another one as well. So you will have hands-on experiences through all of the different mediums within that space. You have the opportunity of specialising in things like 2D and 3D animation, in your character design, all sorts of different things within that as well. The idea is that the students will come out with a full portfolio of work ready to go. So when you're applying for jobs, you've already got all your amazing skills and everything set there ready to go. So you will have the same core instructors all the way through the program for visual effects and entertainment design, or you might hear it referred to as VED. And these people have worked across a whole range of different programs themselves, and different big motion pictures and everything as well. So we've some of the teachers have worked on things like the Avengers, World of Warcraft, Disney, the Lego movie is a big one. So you are really getting experience from people that are experts within their industry, and they are teaching you all of their knowledge throughout the program. As a student, you have the opportunity to take part in an awesome experience called the Rookies. This is an awards program, and it's basically sets you kind of like a bit of a mentoring stuff where you can submit your work as a student, and you kind of get to compete against other students right across the world, which is awesome. And each year, Flinders takes up a number of the top positions from the Rookies. So our graduates do really awesome things with this program. Over the different years, so in first year you'll do basic skills within 2D and 3D design and production work. You will have some of your subjects here at the main campus at Flinders University, and some of your subjects will be taught within CDW Studios, and they're based in Rundle Mall in the city. You will also do topics in digital media, visual arts, IT, and screen and media culture as well. From second year, you will kind of start to develop your skills in one of those specialisations. So it might be in 2D or 3D animation, it could be in game art or entertainment design as well. And then third year, you start doing a bit more, and you also have the opportunity for your placements and practicum options as well. So this is where you actually start going out and working within businesses and really start building up your portfolio too. And a whole range of different occupations and employers that you can go into. So a lot of our students will go into sort of concept art, animation works, digital design, video game development, a whole range of different things. This space within South Australia in particular is becoming like huge. So the government's just invested a whole bunch of money into bringing some new companies here. So I think it's Nintendo that's coming now to Adelaide as well. PlayStation's coming to Adelaide. So there's going to be a whole range of work opportunities within that space that are just going to be increasing over the next few years as well. So it's certainly a fantastic option for these areas. And the entry requirements for this one, so again, it just has that minimum selection rank of 60, and the prerequisites for this one are a portfolio, CV and written statement. So again, with your portfolio, this is probably the biggest one, the biggest requirement for it. They're just looking again for you to demonstrate that you are in fact a bit creative and you have a bit of an idea. They're not looking, they want you to have had a bit of experience basically within this space. We will teach you a whole range of, kind of core information and everything that you need for it. But they kind of, I guess, a good kind of way of explaining it is they want you to sort of understand basically how to use Photoshop a little bit already. So you know kind of the base level knowledge for that one, and then they can expand on your knowledge within the course. So for your portfolio, so long that you need to have you are allowed to submit up to 15 items. What we always tell students is if you have 8 really awesome pieces of work that you want to submit for your portfolio for this one, just submit the 8. Don't feel like you need to go and come up with the remaining 7 if they're not going to be that great. It's up to 15 pieces. We're just looking for you to submit your very best work to get across your best creativity options, basically. So that brings us to the end of all the course-specific information. Please pop any questions you may have through the chat box on there, because we've just got a few minutes left. If you don't gain entry to any of these courses, think about what your pathway options would be. Now, for most of these courses, hopefully you will all meet the base level academic entry criteria. What we find most people sometimes, might struggle with a little bit is meeting the kind of level needed for the portfolio, or nailing the drama or dance or audition or whatever it might be. A lot of students will start off in the Bachelor of Arts or the Bachelor of Media Arts, depending on what you're looking to do, and start off in this course as a way to build up their skills in those different areas. So if, as an example, you don't quite get into the drama program straight away, the Bachelor of Creative Arts Drama, you can actually do drama within the regular Bachelor of Arts. So that's a way of sort of starting and building up some of your skills and having another go the following year based off your audition. These options are also a great way if for whatever reason you don't end up meeting the minimum requirement for the particular course. If you're aiming for one and it ends up perhaps being that one of those 7-tier requirements, you don't quite get there, you can consider going into the Bachelor of Arts, do similar subjects, and then apply to transfer the following year based off your university grades instead. So the Bachelor of Arts is a really good one if you're looking to do things like drama, creative writing, what else? visual arts, the Bachelor of Arts is a good pathway for those ones. And for your other courses, so things like screen and the visual effects and digital media course, the media arts is a really good pathway for that one. So media arts is a fantastic degree in its own right, but it also covers topics specifically related to those areas as a nice pathway option. So you'll do topics in essential multimedia, screen production techniques, television studies, media policy and ethics, and media audiences. So it does really set you up well if you do want to move across to those options later. And whilst you're in that program, you also have the opportunity of continuing to build up your portfolio requirements and hopefully improving on them. So when you apply for the following year, hopefully you'll be able to get in based off those ones as well. So the applications for all of these courses are currently open. I encourage you to apply before the end of September. So applications are done through SATAC. For Year 12 students, if you apply before the 30th of September and submit and pay for your application, it's going to be $45. If you're an adult entry student, it's going to be $85. If you apply after the 30th of September, there's unfortunately late fees are charged by SATAC, so it becomes quite expensive to submit. So please just pop your application in before the 30th of September. You can go back in and make as many changes as you want to your preferences. That's all fine. There's no charges or fees for doing that. You can change it as many times as you want, just so long as you've got it in before that initial date of the 30th. Then it just means you pay the regular fee as opposed to paying the late fee. You can still change your courses after that date though. And when you apply for the course, that's where you will get the information about submitting the portfolios and signing up for auditions and all of those additional entry criteria that will come out once you've submitted the SATAC application for it. The first round of offers will be on the 20th of December for most of these courses, and then the next round of offers will be on the 10th of January. For these courses, if you do get an offer to one of them, and which will be very exciting, and I hope you all do, when you do get your offer though, please read the offer letter really carefully, because some of these courses can be really, really competitive. They're really, really popular, and so sometimes we have these dates that you have to enroll by so that you can make sure you maintain your position in that degree. So please just follow the instructions really carefully, because each year we do have some people that might not follow the instructions, and unfortunately they miss out on their place because we've then offered it to someone else because we thought that they were no longer interested in the degree. So just make sure you follow your offer letter instructions really carefully for these courses. We do have a number of upcoming webinars as well. So the same website that you signed up for this one, you can register for a whole range of other courses as well. We're going to cover a whole bunch of other study areas and also some more general application ones, and also things like uni life at Flinders University and a whole range of other ones as well. But if you do have any other questions, you can always send them through to askflinders@flinders.edu.au or give us a call. It's 1300 Flinders, it's pretty easy, and we'll be able to answer those for you straight away. I've seen there's a couple of questions that have come through, so I'll just take a minute just to review those just for a second. Okay, cool. So a couple of people have asked about transferring between different creative arts specializations. So, yeah, that's fine. So with all courses, when you start a degree, you're not locked into it. No one's saying, right, you must complete this and that's the only one you're allowed to do. If you start in a course and you decide it's not the right one for you, and lots of people do change their mind, I was one of them. If you start in a course, example is drama to fashion. So if you start off in drama and you're doing drama and you think, oh, this isn't quite what I want to do, I'd rather be in fashion, that's fine. You just need to reapply. So I think the fashion course only has a once a year intake, so you could either stay in drama for that full year or just do a semester and then apply for fashion for the following year as well. So kind of similar to how we were saying you could start in the Bachelor of Arts or the Bachelor of Media Arts and then apply to move across the other course the following year. You can also do that for all other courses that we have on offer as well. Moving to something like fashion is pretty straightforward because the fashion one doesn't have any kind of additional prerequisites. If you are looking to move to drama or move to dance or move to visual effects and entertainment design, then you will need to go through those additional steps of the audition and of the portfolio when they're running those at the end of each year as well for entry for those ones too. But thank you to everyone else for joining us tonight. I hope it's been helpful. If you do have any questions, just get in contact with us, and we'll be able to let you know the answer. And best of luck for the rest of your studies this year for Year 12 students, and best of luck to everyone who is applying for these courses. And we really do hope to see you at Flinders University soon.